Well, how do we break out?
I don't know, man.
I thought
Keep learn- we
skincare
keep
was going to
learn-
do
we
it, but it
keep-
didn't. It didn't do it.
What, we didn't break out?
No.
You don't think we broke out?
With skincare?
Oh, yeah, the skincare thing. I don't know. I think maybe my skin wasn't good enough.
True. Nobody bought it.
Nobody bought my skincare products. I don't know. Like, I mean, the numbers were met, Mark. I don't know if we can beat we literally took the numbers we were hoping for, doubled them, hit those immediately, and still you are disappointed.
Yeah. I'm never satisfied. That's why I'm where I am.
Where are you?
In Seattle.
Hey, friends. It's Mark and Scott Learn About Hobbies. Mark, I think a lot of people believe that in order to be successful in computering, that they need to only do computers both in the 9 to 5, but they go immediately home and then they code as a hobby, do only technical things as a hobby. I assume that is the same with you, right? All of your hobbies are probably computers. Fair?
Nope, not all. But actually, it's kind of interesting because are you referring to the comment, I think, on one of our podcasts where somebody said Mark must never, last time Mark played a video game was probably the year 2000, something like that.
Yeah, right. I think the confidence level was low in your pop culture knowledge and background.
And actually, I responded to that comment because I've been playing Battlefield series from Battlefield 1942, which came out in like 2005 or 4. Mm-hmm. I've been playing that series continuously since then, getting
the
multiplayer,
the 50 players.
And at this point, it's I don't even want to look at how many hours, if I totaled them up, that I've spent in Battlefield. But I'm sure it's in the thousands.
Really?
Yeah.
I find it so stressful because in Battlefield, you die and then you're fodder and then they zoom back up into the air and then you zoom back down again and then you're another guy on the battlefield and you go running back in. I feel like I'm fodder. I think that's the feeling you're supposed to have.
Yeah. But yeah, that game it's a good release because I can just jump in if I've got 20 minutes, play around, get my fix.
Are you console or PC?
PC. In fact, I can't use console controllers. I'm a mouse and keyboard.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that is a really interesting thing. My son is keyboard only, and
I can't be precise enough with the stick on the game controller.
So you have like a 1600 DPI, super lightweight, gaming mouse, wired.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, this is good. This is information I did not have. So that's a good hobby.
How about you? Do you play video games?
Yeah.
You play all the time, right? I see you tweeting him or posting about it on Blue Sky.
Posting about it. I've got a Steam Deck, which is an absolute glorious device. Cannot be said how amazing this is. I dual boot Batocera Linux off of a 1 terabyte SD card on this because it's just Linux and you can boot into the Linux desktop. So I 3D printed a whole dock and I've got a bunch of retro games on that. But I've been doing JRPGs. I just did Dragon's Age, which was remade. Yeah. And I think I did 35 hours over the holidays. And everyone thought I was neglecting my family, but I just do it when they're asleep.
Yeah.
Right. You find time. You intentionally find time. And it was very much a release. And I felt perfectly good about it.
Did you finish it?
Oh, yeah. It took me 39 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm not a completionist because that'll get you.
You'll go back through and get all
of it. That just stresses me out. I just have to acknowledge that this is an interesting thing. Maybe you have this. I have as a programmer, I have a relationship that I think is different with a game because as soon as it feels like I'm not playing the game anymore, I'm playing some dude and his for loop. And it's like, oh, well, now I'm just against this guy's algorithm and that doesn't feel good. So as soon as the game makes me feel like I'm playing a programmer, I lose interest in the game.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever had that feeling. But the other, besides Battlefield, the other ones that I like are puzzle games. So Portal and all the.
Oh, Portal.
Also, Left 4 Dead. That was just a great series.
Yeah.
And I have to do a plug for this because the best video game I've ever played of all time was Half-Life Alyx, which is
the VR one.
VR one, and it's just a masterpiece. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
And I played that during COVID, which was a great release then.
That's such a great example of a game where you thought every VR game after that was going to be that good.
I know.
And it's like, nope.
They nailed it on the
first try.
There's nothing that comes close.
Yeah.
So
I tried the Vader ones, and they're just not the same.
No.
You
have Half-Life Alyx too?
Yeah, I did it, and then I did it on an HTC Vive.
That's what I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the card, with the networking card, so I could be untethered.
Yep.
So
Did you have the battery pack in your pocket?
Yeah. It's just amazing. It's just amazing.
Just bumbling around. VR is such a weird thing. Now, are your eyes perfect? Do you have perfect vision as well as perfect hair?
Close to perfect.
So you don't have to wear lenses.
No.
So one of the number one tip that I give anyone who does any kind of VR, I use a Quest 3 now, is for $79 you can get prescription lenses that click in.
Yeah.
And if you have always felt like VR wasn't for you, just if you have like readers or like whatever. So I just took my regular prescription and I put it into the website and it pops out these lenses. They show up a week later for $70. And that made it really, really cool. And I guess Windows 11 is building in virtual desktops now so people can do that. Yeah. Have you ever used these?
Yeah, in fact, I got that because you recommended it.
I did tell you to get these. And did you like them?
I do. On airplanes. That's when I use them, on airplanes.
Yeah. These are great.
Like watching movies or coding on an airplane.
Yeah, apparently a bunch of people from the Xbox team work over there now. But yeah, these are great. This is not a plug. I mean, we don't have any relationship with these guys. But what's cool about these that I like is that it's just USB-C.
Yeah.
You just plug them in, and then it shows up as another screen, which I think is pretty cool.
By the way, you mentioned my hair, and I just need to set the record here because people have said in comments, in fact, there was the last one, this episode of Scott and Mark Learn To, brought to you by L'Oreal hair dye.
It's not dyed. It's natural. It's horrible.
Yeah.
No one believes it because you're going to end up being like, at some point, you're going to be 80 and you're going to be fully vertical and straight backed and healthy. And you're going to be, or you'll do the Ted Danson where like overnight your hair will go snow white and then you'll look better. And that's going to be worse.
Yeah.
We're going to appreciate that less.
People have been, when I was at Winternals in the early 2000s, I guess it was in my late 30s then. There were already rumors in the office that I was dyeing my hair.
Some people just win the genetic lottery, man. And others are diabetics that are
eating while we're doing our podcast.
I'm diabetic. I need to eat.
Okay.
I'm sorry. All right. So video games, I don't know if that helps our case because we just said that we don't do computers in our spare time.
Oh, well, I do. Actually, computer hobbies for me in my spare time, and I spend most of my time actually doing, it was sysinternals, but now it's AI research.
That's a hobby.
It's a hobby, yeah.
Yeah. Gamifying the AI, beating the AI.
Well, yeah,
you do though. You get nerd sniped.
What do you mean?
This is the thing about you. Nerd sniping. You know what nerd sniping is, right?
No.
Okay. I think you do, but you just don't know the name for it. Nerd sniping is when you tell a person with a certain kind of personality that something either isn't possible or might not be possible, and then they kind of go, and then they can't concentrate for the rest of the day, and it ruins their whole day. So with you, I'll be like, I was trying to get the thing to hallucinate, and I couldn't, and I tried these things, and like, I think it's pretty much not possible. You want something done, you tell Russinovich it's not possible. And then two hours later, he'll text you a screenshot. He's like, I got it to do this and even this other stuff.
That's true. I do. You're right. I didn't know the name for it. Now I do.
It's any nerd.
Know my weakness.
Boom, snipe. So yeah, tell Russinovich you can't do this with AI and it'll get done. It will get done. What about woodworking or anything like that? Anything with your hands? Like, what's the non-computer thing?
Well, when I was growing up, I drew. I just had a natural talent for drawing, and I just did it for fun. And then I stopped in college. I did it a little bit in college, but then I stopped. And then picked it up again in COVID time. And for about a year and a half, I did tons of drawing. Started with graphite, which is pencil, moved on to pen and ink, which I love, and then did colored pencil, which I love even more.
Wow.
And so have tons of drawings from the COVID timeframe. I stopped when GPT-4 came out because that's what then I switched into AI research. So I haven't been doing any drawing since December of 2022, but I did a lot of that.
I used to do comic art and comic books, and my son is in school for art, and I actually used to get a table at Rose City Comic Con and sell photocopies in the late 80s of my art at the table.
Oh, that's cool.
So you'd have like a whole line, and somewhere around here I've got...
let's see your art, and I can show you some of my art, too.
Where's my... I've got a pile here somewhere. Now you're making me figure out where all this stuff is. This is from like literally the 80s. So I need to figure out where it is. I see that you're jumping up too. That's comforting. All I found two things. I'm just looking around my office here. One was a X-Man.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
In 1990, it says SH 1990.
It looks like you're doing fashion design, actually. Did you do that too? Did you design like dresses when you were in high school?
I didn't, but my son ended up doing that. So my son is so funny. I love this about my son. My youngest son is kind of like a football bro, and he's like, "Yeah, bro," and like he'll text me like he's in bro, and his buddies will come over and they'll do fashion. They'll make pants, they'll sew, and they're all the tough guys from the football team. And I just think that's so badass that they'll see something that like some Balenciaga pants or something like that are way too expensive, and they'll go, "We can make those." And then they'll go to Goodwill, they'll get the pants, and then they'll like
that's wild.
They'll make the stuff, and then they're like, "Bro, those pants are sick." I love that. And then I found this. This is not at all related, but I made the very first diabetes management system for the Palm Pilot. So I found the CD.
Oh, cool. So that's a
CD.
Wow, that's very...
It was a hobby. So
very professional.
Very professional. Well, I mean, because I had to print out,
Yeah.
So Glucopilot. And what's funny is that this is a 700 megabyte CD with a Palm Pilot PRC on it.
I think those CDs are 750.
750? Yeah. So 750 meg CD, and there's a 48K PRC, but people wanted CDs that felt very special. So that's literally 40K, 48K on the thing. That was a hobby. That was I don't know when that was.
So I can show you some of my drawings.
Yeah, let's see it.
So I've got a bunch that are Star Wars themed here in my office, and then I've got non-Star Wars themed out in the hallway. All right.
Oh my gosh.
So
hang on. Wow.
So that's Grogu, obviously.
And is your pencil?
These are colored pencil, yeah.
Good Lord.
C-3PO, R2-D2.
Okay, well, this makes me like you less. What are you not good at? I think is the... Mark and Scott learn what they're not good at.
Things I haven't tried, I guess. I'm just kidding. And here's... Are
these all on the same paper?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite kind of paper to do this kind of work?
Yeah. Paper and pencils. These are...
Wow, fantastic.
And there's other ones around the house. But...
Those are great, man.
And, here's another one.
Wow.
Which is related to the other hobby, which is the Star Wars props mentioned.
Yeah. So these Star Wars props, are these do you get these on
auctions.
Sotheby's or
auctions? Yeah.
auctions and stuff.
Yeah.
So that is from the movie.
So this is from Empire Strikes Back, and George Lucas put it up for auction in the 1990s at a charity auction. He was in a competition with Steven Spielberg to donate the most impressive item from their collections to the auction. And Steven Spielberg donated Indiana Jones' hat, and so Lucas is like, okay, I'll do one better. Here's Darth Vader.
Now I do like 3D printing, and I've got like a Mandalorian helmet over there. But this is from like 1983 or 1980. If it was Empire Strikes Back 1980, is it molded plastic? Is it blown?
It's plastic, yeah. And I've actually put it on and said to my stepdaughter, "I am your father." You know,
that's so cool.
Actually, I'm your
wow.
Yeah.
And that is your prized.
Yeah,
is your
that's
prized.
The prize
so all of these are real movie props.
Yeah, this was a Stormtrooper helmet used from the collection of the prop master, used in both A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. It's one of 35 helmets that were used in both movies.
Wow.
This is a Stormtrooper rifle also used in both movies.
When you saw them in person, do they seem like more amazing or less amazing? Because
the fascinating thing, this is actually a decommissioned real submachine gun, World War II era British submachine gun. That's how they
really?
fires
With
blanks.
And they just added accoutrement around the outside of it.
Yeah, this actually just like thick paper mache. It's so light. You press it too hard and you'll dent it. And so you look at Star Wars, you think, oh, those are like serious, thick plastic. No, they're not.
There's a whole joke right now because there's a Star Wars Outlaws video game.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I've played about 35 hours of it. But the girl in the show punches the stormtroopers in the face, and they're like, a helmet punch is not realistic. And you've just proved that a helmet punch would be effective.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, you'd break the helmet. And this was from Return of the Jedi.
And that is something that Anthony Daniels put on his head.
Yep. In fact, he is when I won the auction, he signed a photograph of himself saying, "Congrats, Mark, on winning this."
Wow. Have you ever had any interest in getting into like 3D printing and making your own helmets?
No.
And script?
That's the final thing. This was a script from 1975. You can see it's called The Star Wars. So the story's different from the final. But this is the version that 20th Century Fox greenlit the movie based on.
They greenlit it based on just like the Facebook.
Yeah, and it's called, the main character is Luke Starkiller. Wow. Is that yours from then?
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
1977, I would have been 3. Merry Christmas. That was 1980. Merry Christmas, 1980. Like that. I've got that still. I've got the big question and answer book about space. Super important. Because that was the thing. Remember when Star Wars came out, everyone was like, well, let's talk about space. What is an asteroid?
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah. And those are all good spines. And I've had that sitting around the house here for, 40 years. So you never got into the 3D printing?
No. That's your other hobby, right?
I would say that's probably a fair hobby. I've got a lot of hobbies.
Yeah,
3D printing is one.
You showed me that before. That is really, really cool.
That came directly off the print, and then this is just a welder helmet that I cut. And you can see inside that it's kind of not clean.
Uh-huh.
It's not. It didn't because
because you wore it when you were dirty.
No, that is the filament kind of leaking down, and I haven't even that came directly out. You can see the lines, but it's minimal. So that worked out great. That's one.
How long did that take to print?
That was 17 straight hours. Came directly off the print, sits like that, and then I had to do a little bit of like light sanding. But I want to do a now I need to do a Stormtrooper on principle. Mm-hmm. And then these ones, This was a plan from Adafruit. My friend Lamore Freed from Adafruit.
Oh, you showed me that too. I love that.
This one's great. Yeah. Now you can see that there's some seams where the light comes through. I need to cover. I don't know if you can hear it or not.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
So it's got a micro Python inside there. And that was all 3D printed. And then there's an LED loop inside here. And I just need to figure out how to cover these seams.
It's black marker.
Yeah, that's probably one way to do it. And then I've got this one is a bespoke lightsaber that was given to me by a .NET user group. So it's .NET colored, .NET purple lightsaber. Nice. I don't have any like Glowforge high quality, what are they called? The Super Forge, the Saber Forge. Mm-hmm. I need to. But on the 3D printing prop side, I was very proud of this one. This is Han Solo's.
Nice.
And that was 3D printed in about 50 or 60 parts. And this is not painted. So this is a wood filament from a place called Protopasta, where they infuse metal or wood into the plastic to make it look better.
What? Wait, I don't understand.
So filament is PLA, right? It's
3D
a plant-based.
Printed too?
This is 3D printed.
That wood thing.
This wooden handle is 3D printed in a wood filament. So it's like 90% plastic, 10% wood. Smells like wood. Wow. This is got a carbon fiber, in it. They infuse flecks of metal or wood or whatever, and then you assemble it. These are brass. Mm-hmm. So it's still plastic, but it's brass infused or silver infused, and it turns out freaking amazing. I mean, I printed that.
That's
Come
really
on.
Cool. Yeah,
I printed it on a $600 printer.
Yeah.
So not as cool as getting something on a auction, but still fun. Yeah, and I've got a bunch of 3D printing filament right there.
Ah, that's what that is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So all of this.
I thought it was your Cat 6 cables.
Yeah. So, for example, that would be the, that would be like the like I could print a C-3PO head like that. Now, the correct way to do it is you sand it and putty it and sand it and then paint it and then do that kind of stuff. That is the part of 3D printing that I find the least glamorous and I try to avoid because, man, really, really good 3D printers, like electroplating. Mm-hmm. People will electroplate a 3D print. They'll get a giant bucket and they'll put electricity into it and then they'll electroplate I
bet you could get a great Mandalorian helmet with that.
Oh my God. You need so to do good. That. But the amount of I don't have a.
Come on.
I would dedicate my garage and then I
do it.
Now you're going to nerd snipe me?
Yes.
But it's cool because you can print all kinds of stuff. Like printing it makes a barbell into a
kettlebell.
A kettlebell. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you need 3D plastic crap,
come to you.
I'm your guy.
All right. I need a Mandalorian helmet.
Do you?
Electroplated.
The electroplating, man. That is the thing.
I don't know. You can't. If you're going to do it, you need to do it all the way.
Got to go all the way. How do you struggle with that with the hobbies? Oh, let me show you this. This one's interesting. And actually, instead of doing the camera that way, I'll do it like this.
Upside down. I like that.
So that is one of those foldable metal models. Have you ever seen these?
Yeah. In fact, I've got one. You can buy them in the airport in SeaTac.
They're so hard.
I was like, this looks too hard for me. So I haven't made it. It's like, a TIE fighter. Like I got a TIE fighter. Yeah.
Yeah. And like that's page 1. And there's no instructions. So it's like, imagine an IKEA catalog and then add in tweezers and magnifying glasses. And the goal is to make that.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
this is
impressed.
where
yeah.
That's your source material.
I'm not. So you built just part of it. You haven't finished.
So that's the leg.
How long did that take?
That was about 4 hours last week. But I've got a final one that I've made on the shelf over here. That's like a smaller Optimus Prime. Just to give you a sense, and that one's a giant one. So that's like the perfect grade Gundam kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. How long did that one take?
That's probably
really cool.
8 hours. So I just kind of like watch Netflix and fold metal with tweezers, which is a perfectly normal hobby for a normal person.
I didn't realize they don't really tell you how involved those things are to make when you look at the box.
They really don't.
And they don't say, by the way, you need other tools to, it's not self-contained. You need to go buy some.
So you're getting into the thing and then you're like, oh, I need to go to Amazon. I need to get this tool and I need to get that tool. And I need and then you can cut yourself. So you're effectively working with razor wire. And then I need to get one of those like surgery loops or whatever, like the diamond loop, uncut gems loops. That's interesting. So what other hobbies do we have? Do we ever go outside though?
Do I go outside?
Yeah. Because I've just realized that we're sitting here talking about our hobbies and not one of us have required us to leave the house.
Hiking. I like hiking.
Yeah. That's such a Pacific Northwest thing.
Yeah.
Hiking. Do you do any sports? I did Taekwondo.
I played soccer and then, basketball in high school and intramurals in college.
Yeah.
And then I stopped playing basketball. I did pick up basketball after college, but then I stopped when it just, you risk.
You pick up basketball.
Yeah, getting a black eye or twisting your ankle or somebody stepping on you.
How tall are you? 6'4"?
6'6".
6'6". Yeah. Well, you're required to play basketball, I think, at 6'4" and above, right? That's just
it's mandatory. Yeah.
But that sounds like a good way to twist a knee and then you're going to be shorter.
Hobbled for life. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't do that.
Yeah. I hurt myself a lot during Taekwondo. I was ripping toenails off. Broke my pinky toe a couple of times, hit kicking stuff, just not smart. These are non-contact sports that I'm doing now.
But hobbies are mandatory. Yeah.
They are mandatory. It's healthy. Yeah. I think that we make a mistake. I think computer people, this is what I'm going to end on. Computer people make a mistake when they tell other computer people that their hobbies have to be computer related.
Or their hobby is their work.
Yes, or it has to be monetized.
Yeah.
It's okay, I 3D print stuff, but I'm not selling it on Etsy. It does not have to be like that. If you deserve, let me rephrase, maybe you need to sell your thing on Etsy, but your worth isn't what you can produce. Sometimes a hobby can just be useless. When I'm done with that's shockwave or sound wave, it's going to represent 30 hours. Any one of your pieces of art are unique, bespoke. There's no copy. They're unique on the planet, and they exist only for you to walk by in the hallway and go,
yeah, exactly.
That's cool. That's cool. All right, man. All right. Well, I'd love to hear about your hobbies, audience, in the comments. Are you well balanced as well? And how do you find balance in your hobbies?
Yeah, and post pics of your stuff if you make it.
Yeah. Hey, actually, follow us on Blue Sky and share us pictures of your hobbies. That would be a great idea.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll put links in the show notes. All right, friends. That is an episode, I think, right there. We'll see you again next week.